Good morning, ladies and gents. So, we got past the worst of the item stacking yesterday. Specifically, I figured out a simple, easy solution that actually works, that I can appreciate and still make use of. I actually meant to bring up Visual Studio so I could show it off. I guess the first, most obvious thing that I should do is get out of this scene, which is actual content for the game. I'm trying to actually make a city, a starter town, so to speak. If not the name of the scene, I don't know what else would give away that it's the starter town. But so things to note: if you look at the inventory slots right now, they all do have space for items. I went with the system.serializable route, which does mean that nulls get deserialized as empty objects. Kind of unfortunate. I'm not a huge fan of what that does to the structure, but it's fairly easy to remedy. Instead of checking for null, we simply check, we write an isEmpty check, and we use that instead of null checks. And that's kind of the easiest way to take care of this problem. So if we actually look at the item script that's made in this case, I've got two things going on here. One is the item script itself, the other's a property that I just use to mark player character stuff so that it's easier to read. Because you will also hopefully note that each of the inventory slots is actually marked by what slot it now is inside their inventory. So here's the head slot. Oh look, he's not wearing anything there. But the warrior is holding a starter sword in his right hand, and there's only one sword in the stack, so not bad. And you know, the part of what I like is this requires very little code. All it required was I swap all my null checks over to isEmpty, and then I just use system.serializable for a bunch of stuff. And this is really cool for a bunch of reasons. One of the things that I've been kind of fighting with lately is trying to figure out how to get spells and effects lined up with each other. And especially if you look at the way in which I'm trying to handle consumable items and their effects, you'll notice I have two setups here. One is a consumable effect set of flags, and the other is I have an integer array that's separate that has all the effects of things. And what happens is it essentially pairs up the flag with an effect integer, but that's not really a great way to do it, because what you end up doing at that point is it ends up separating the data. So you have all the effects over here and all of the strengths over here, and it's hard to tell which lines up with which. So what I could do instead at some point, and I'm going to probably end up doing this, I guess I could do part of it now. What I could do is I could say, oh, well, you know, this is I'm actually, you know what? I am going to use structs for this, because why not? Well, not just why not. There's also a few other reasons, memory-wise, that I like to use structs over classes. Yeah, I'll go with struct for now. I'm not going to go into the full explanation of why, but structs they have their uses. This is one of them that I think would be good. So it's a little data structure with pretty much no actual content to it. So what we're going to say is this will be the consumable effect. And inside we need a couple things. We need the actual consumable effect. And we're also going to have... Why are you complaining? Oh, I see. Consumable, there. Good enough. We're also going to have an effect strength. Now, this doesn't look much different from this, except that one is a single integer and a single consumable effect, versus the other one is all the effects in one place and all the integers in the other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment all this out, and we're just going to have a public consumable effect details array. And we'll call it effects. And for now, I do need to disable some other code, just because it is going to complain a bit. Okay, it's going to complain more than a little bit, apparently. But that's fine. Oh my gosh. It's going to complain so much. There. I think I got it all. There we go. Okay. So, now, the thing to note is that with only one... Oh, we have to mark it as serializable. Duh. Otherwise, this whole thing kind of falls apart. So now if we look at something like our item prefab for a health potion, you'll note that instead of the usual effect setup, I say, okay, it has one effect, right? One thing to take care of. And the effect is going to be that it restores health, and it's going to restore, 4 strength worth of health. And then if I want a separate effect, okay, cool. It can also restore energy and restore less energy, but some still. Note how much easier this is to read than my previous setup. I'm actually tempted to stick around and maybe clean that up later. But definitely, I think this is a good idea of one way to handle this, is to have these little effect and strength containers. And then anything else that I need, I could just stuff into that container, and it's really freaking cool that it's encapsulated and Unity automatically does the whole, oh, I'm just gonna, you have an array of these, I'm just gonna pack them into this array and show them to you in the editor as if nothing was wrong. That's kind of cool. So, other things, since I'm showing off all the stuff I got done. Hey, look at that. Inventory doesn't look too bad. And it's actually, I kind of like this setup here, where first off, you'll note, oh look, his right hand is free the moment is highlighted the moment I grab the sword, so I can dump it there. Indicators are great for your players. It also makes it easy for me to realize when I've done something stupid with an item. Also, note, health potions don't turn anything on, but it does show off the fact that this is a consumable, and I need to handle and fix this, but that's something else for another time. That's probably something else for a non-stream time, honestly. But yeah, things are coming along quite nicely. Quite nicely. Really? She still has a dagger? I thought I put a staff in one of their hands. Oh, I did. Okay, wooden staff in his hands. Sweet. Okay, so if I've done all that, the question then becomes, what am I doing today? 2 things. One is you can't see how many items are in a stack yet. So I need to repair that, and I also need to handle some other little things here and there. I do kind of want to spend some time fixing up this that I just modified, but aside from that, there's also like decrementing the stack size when you use a consumable, that kind of stuff. So let's see. Also, splitting up and putting in merging groups is something that I need to figure out. When you have 4 health potions, you need to pop them off into here's 1 and 1, or here's 2 and 1, or 3 and 1. And then I also need to say, okay, well, now that I've got that, I need to also handle putting them back together if I can take them apart. So there's always work to be done on this silly inventory system. The better we can handle this and take care of things, the easier it is going to be for players to handle it, and the more they'll want to just play the game in general. It's one of those things where if I provide enough tools, and you can find something and it's done well, and what is well designed from a user experience point of view, then it should just become seamless. You should open the inventory, feel like you know immediately where to go, and like you can poke around and everything is exactly where it should be. And it should be pretty seamless. So, let's see. First thing. This warrior does not just have a health potion, he has 4 health potions. So I'm going to use him as a testing ground for figuring out how to get stack sizes to actually show up. That is the first thing. I thought I had a prefab for item UI. I think this is what I'm hunting for. Pretty sure it's what I'm hunting for. But in order to use it, I need a character window. Means switching to 2D and zooming way the heck out. I'm almost tempted to like make a separate scene view that is in 2D, but I don't think I can have multiple scene views. Can I? No, I can't. Dang it. Yeah. Oh god. No. No, 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 no. Let's... never. No. Ugh. Default. Thank you. I'm just not a fan of having all my tools piled up on the right-hand side and then my views into the world on the other side. I was kind of hoping that I would have, like, what it says 2x3, that it would be, like, 2 scene views and other things attached, but no. Mm-mm. Oh well. Let's see here. So where do we start? We've got the... I don't know why my default is always to tab back to code, even when code is not actually the thing that may or may not be causing us trouble or to be where we need to implement things. Alright, step 1. Cut a hole in the box. Okay, there's our inventory page, and I'm just going to test this on a backpack slot. So let's see here. Here's some item UI. And it goes in backpack slot 0. Now, the first thing is, I think this could be a good subnode. Yeah. My only worry is that the context menu is going to... Okay, no, we have a reference to the context menu. Never mind. Never mind. We're going to add some text. I'm going to do what I can to keep the text small-ish. And probably try and keep it in the corner if I can. It also doesn't help that it is a almost black text, so I can't exactly read much of it. There we go. And this is just going to overflow. I'm not too worried about the size and amount of text in here. And I like to center it in this case. And no. I'm tempted to use something like a best fit, but I'll pass for now. The other thing we're going to do is slap a black outline onto this just so that it's easy to see at pretty much all times. And it is not a raycast target. We definitely don't want that to ever be the case. Okay, that's maybe not the right effect distance for us. Yeah, I'll have to go with a smaller one. We'll try leaving it there for now. The reason I put X's everywhere is that X's tend to be fairly large characters. Almost the same way W's do, but X's are a little closer to character sizes. The same way, some people, you'll see them do this if it expects a number at all times, and so they just kind of say, yeah, 0, 0, whatever. Like, what the most you'll have is, what, a 4-digit number probably of these? Even if you get to 5, that's not that bad looking. But for now, even with, you know, most of what we're going to have in the game at any given time, you'll probably only have 3 or 4 digits of these at most, ever. So that's fine. And I'm also going to hide it most of the time. So that says stack count, and we're also going to turn it off 90% of the time. Actually, I'm going to think about that for a moment before I actually dismiss that idea. So one more thing needs to happen here, and that is, let's see here, item ref, context menu, public. Wow. Come on, brain. Okay, it's a text item that is our stack size. And by the time we call start, we already know that the item is taken care of and it's all set up. So all we have to do is say stack size.text is this. Actually, stack size text, just because I want to recall that it's not the stack size itself, it's just the text that makes this up. Cool. Oh, one more thing. So if the item stack size is 1, obviously we don't want to really show that. So if it's 1 or, I almost want to say or 0, but I know or 0 isn't going to happen because I've already vetted objects that don't have any objects in the stack as an empty marker. So because that's the empty marker, I don't have to handle anything else. Sorry, I just realized that really comes through on my mic. All my bad habits of, I can't do it again. Oh well. Mr. Savaroth, what happened to the game I was working on before this? That game was a long time ago, buddy. Like a really long time ago. We're talking, I think, February or March of this year. And the game was too large in scope for one person to take on, and my support dropped out on me, so I wasn't really able to follow through and finish it. Also, the game engine that I was using was discontinued, and so all the features I was looking forwards to having at some point, such as shader support, they just weren't going to make it. And I wasn't looking forwards to hacking things into the engine, unfortunately. So it just kind of how it goes. I took a little break from streaming for a while, and now I'm back. Been at it for 50-something days now, 51, 52 days. Every morning now. Doing my thing. Yeah, unfortunate, but how it goes. I mean, that's kind of the downside of working with other people, is sometimes that, you know, life gets in the way, and for something like game dev, where this is definitely a work of passion, where you have to really be into it in order to keep getting yourself up and working on it every single day, it can be difficult. And when, you know, life's other priorities come up, I can see why, you know, somebody might become really busy and say, sorry, I can't work for free on something. The person I was working with went off to work at an actual game studio that just eats all of his time up, because as most game studios do, it's always kind of a crunch to make a publisher happy and also to get things done. Nice thing about the work we're doing, no publisher. I don't have to do any of that. I can take my sweet time. Okay, so that should do the trick. The only other thing we have to do, obviously, is once it recompiles, there we go, grab the stack size and just dump that in there as part of the item UI. that should be it. Cool. So let's see if that works. I should get rid of this. I'm always going to... I always apply changes on whatever I'm working on, just in case. Interesting. I'm just kind of curiously watching the field of view on the camera as I resize it back and forth. Aha! Okay, good. And the 4 comes with it. Now, the only other thing is when I hit use, it eats all 4 of them. And I'm not quite sure that's how I want it to go. Also, this is still sticking around, so we've clearly got some stuff to fix. On use. Okay, so... Interesting. Okay, so a couple things need to happen here. One is, there's an item owner. The item owner is currently removing the item in question. That shouldn't be how this works. What we should be doing instead of removing the item is we should be decrementing 1 from the count. So that's one big thing. What are my system specs? I'm pretty sure this is a quad-core machine. I know I definitely have a GTX 680 Ti as a video card. That makes things nice and buttery smooth whenever I play games. I updated that somewhat recently because I wanted to play Shadows of Mordor, but computer said no, so I bought a new video card. That's what you do. You throw money at the problem? What? Okay, so this function does nothing. Let's just get rid of that first. And get rid of that as well, since that doesn't actually do anything. Huh. Okay. So what's getting rid of, when I say on use, what's actually getting rid of this thing? Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Okay. I think I see some of what's going on here. So the definition is having on use called on it. What we need to do is shift that code to a different place. Because right now, the inventory item, think of the inventory item as a definition. In fact, I need to pretty much dive into a lot of the workings of what an inventory item is and rejigger them so that the inventory item is not an item but a definition. Because that's really what this is. It holds nothing more than base stats that everyone can make use of. Yes, thank goodness, Kate. I definitely powered through yesterday's issue. I got through it last night. I tried 2 or 3 other solutions before finally saying screw it and doing everything with the system.serializable attribute. And then just, instead of using null, I use empty object checks. And that has solved everything so far. And I think that'll continue to solve everything. I just have to remember, every time I check if your inventory has an item, it's not inventory item is null, it's inventory item is empty. Aside from that, though, yeah, it's going pretty well. Let's see here. Fits slot, that's fine. Setup tooltip, that's fine. Man. Okay, so item instance needs more functionality. So this is the serializable object I was telling you guys about. Let's see, there's the empty function. We have the on use, which we still have to pass the same information through pretty much. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to pass the information onto the definition. And we're also going to just remove one from the stack size. Oh, I didn't actually, wait. On use doesn't always consume the object. Okay. I'm gonna have to pass this pointer through. So we're passing down a couple pieces of information. The item owner, we pass through who is the object being used on, and now we have to pass through one more thing, which is the item instance. So this is the actual details of the item getting used. So for example, if this is something like a magic wand that has charges on it and you spend a charge, the item needs to be able to reach out to the object that has those details and say, hey, by the way, you have one less charge. Just thought you should know. It's not always so passive-aggressive about that change, but it can be sometimes, which is fine. The other classes deal with it okay. Huh. Okay, I have to think about this on use equip stuff a little bit, but actually I think I know what I need to do. I need this to also just contain item instance, which is gonna not break a lot of things, but it is going to cause a little extra work. Let's see, no suitable method found to override. How about now? Okay, key item, oh, nope, that one doesn't go there. This is one of those cases where you change one function, or you change one function signature, and everything starts to complain, hey, I didn't get that. Give me a sec. We'll get there. Let's see, you need the item reference. The other way to do it is, if I have the item reference itself, I can just call the onUse item for the item. The onUse function for the item. There we go. And that will pass the information through to objects that kind of want or need that information a little more. So, inventory item, no. Back out to our consumable item, where we say, when you use it, by the way, instance dot, I guess I should do this at the end. This feels like something you do at the end of a function. There. Okay, so we're most of the way through. The only other thing is that we have to say if the instance.stack size is less than or equal to 0, we need to remove the item from your inventory. Okay. I think that pretty much handles it. Let's see. Okay. So if I hop in here and say, hey, this guy likes to drink potions. Okay, so we need to update the text, because I'm pretty sure it worked. And if I look at the inventory of this guy, we'll see that, oh god, what slot is that in? I think it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'd be, oh god, I don't have backpack slot numbers here. Where is it? Come on, health potion. I know you're in here somewhere. Did I, like, completely whiff? I am looking in the right person's inventory, right? Okay, what? How did... Okay, So it does work, because if I update him... What the heck? Where is it? Okay, there it is. It's in that first backpack slot? That doesn't seem right. And yet it is. That is incredibly bizarre. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. We change the stack size, we do all this, we make sure we tell it, hey, you might need to remove yourself. The other thing is, item UI, I guess I'll put an else here, and say item UI dot update UI. I can't think of a better, there we go. That's, I think, how I'm going to handle this for now. And we just need to write a new function for the item UI. Okay. I'm just going to grab all of this and dump it in here so that we redo it each time, just in case something changes. Except for this, that can bugger off. Let's see if that updates things correctly, because that should be... Okay, there's 4 of them. Drink 1, there's now 3, 2, 1. So, whenever I use an item, or use any of these menu things, I'm not getting the mouse away effect, or event off of that. I'm pretty sure there's an on destroy event, though, that I can make use of. And at that point, all I have to do is say, by the way, if the tooltip reference is, well, no, I don't even have to do that. I just have to say, when I destroy an item, hide it. I'm just trying to think of all the ways things might go sideways when using the inventory or messing with stacks in this way. 2, 1. Aha, there we go. Okay. Much better. Okay. That was a lot cleaner and quicker and easier. And that actually has left us with a decent amount of time. So I'm going to start in on fixing up the effects for consumables. Because this is a pain in the butt, and I don't want to deal with it that way. So let's see here. As cute as my previous attempt was at getting this done, I think what I just need to do here is simplify this whole thing down. So let's see, we need to do a few things. We need this switch statement to key off of effects I dot effect. And then, I guess the other thing we could do here, if we really wanted to make sure that, I'll switch this to a class. If we really want to make sure we take care of this correctly, we could say consumable effect details is effects I. What I don't understand... Oh, okay, I see why I'm not doing this a different way. And it is silly. So for each consumable effect details, effect in effects. Don't need this crap anymore, or this. And we switch on effect dot effect. That doesn't seem quite right. I'm gonna drop this down to E, because it's an iterator, and so I don't mind dropping down to a single character on it. It's pretty obvious that this is how I should be using this thing, and that is fine. If okay, cool. So that's all fixed. We also need to replace all of this pretty much. For each consumable effect details, E in effects. What's going on here? Oh, we're writing description text. Sweet. So the description text should be E.effect, E.effect strength. We can get rid of this silly index stuff going on in here. Is there anything else? Oh, right. So this validate can just go away altogether, which is great. And that looks like that's that. I am also tempted to remove the flags marker and the fact that these are marked as flags in such a way, because they don't need to be flags anymore. No need at all. None at all. So if I look at, let's see here, items, health potion. Okay, my health potion looks the same. Nothing's changed here. But I should now see a couple changes. The most obvious of which should be, hey, you can see the details of what this health potion does inside the details panel. That looks a little fuzzy. Is that just me, or am... No, that's pretty clear when I size it up. Okay. Okay, can't argue with that. I guess a lot of my art just looks kind of fuzzy when I'm staring at it from a smaller point of view. Let's get in a fight real quick. And by real quick, I mean in the next step. Hey, look at that, it's a fight. Warrior, oh. Why is everyone's attack clicking straight through? Except for the mage. What is... And it's using flails, which means that it doesn't think it can find a weapon, or that the weapon it's using doesn't think it has... Interesting. Okay, one sec. Test one thing at a time. Cool. Warrior got hit. That's exactly what I was looking for. So item... So this still doesn't have... I'm not seeing any details here on what item does what, and I'm also not seeing stack size. Interesting. But when I hit attack, it's saying cleric swings and rogue swings, so it's not like... Huh. It's not like the weapon isn't in their hand, it's like the weapon isn't responding to the check of what is available for that weapon. Attack type, oh, and that's why. Daggers can be swung and thrusted. I wonder why this changed and reset itself. Okay, that's fine. Weird, but fine. Does the graphic scaling account for the logarithmic scale that color values use? Otherwise, it can be smudgy and dark if colors are averaged. It says, oh god, Mediosthenes? Mediosthenes? It can. It definitely... It can account for the coloring. It's probably just the texture filtering that's going on inside the system. I know everything is being rendered out at full resolution, and then Unity smashes it into a little render texture, and sometimes doesn't do the greatest texture filtering when it squishes it down. So you end up with fuzzy looking text, or edges that might normally be clean look a little degraded because their filtering is at best. So let's see. We've got health potions working, but for some reason, well, not for some reason, inside the combat item UI, we're not showing off stack size yet. So the combat item UI has to work very, very similarly to the item UI. So the easiest way to fix this, obviously, is just to dump a combat window in place. And from the item picker, which, let's get rid of some of this other stuff. We are going to grab a combat item, and we're just going to dump it in one of these squares. So, let's see here. The combat item UI needs some more details as well, such as it's got the item instance, but it should know the text object. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the other one. Nothing new or interesting happening here, just a matter of that. Oh, and obviously the start call needs to make modifications to things. Actually, now that I think about it, who's doing the work on the combat UI? It looks like someone else is doing work on the combat UI. And that feels a little funny. My guess is going to be because I generate and then throw them away pretty commonly, that I didn't feel the need to kind of fix this at all when I started moving things from centralized to like a somewhat more decentralized system. Especially when I'm talking about something like shifting the details of a class into the class itself. It feels odd to not have done that. This should not wrap, this should overflow, as should that. I think I had this marked at 20, no, 32? Yeah, 32 looks okay. And also wrong font. I have fonts that work better and look nicer, and I definitely would like to use those. Get a shadow on this. Oh, that's part of why I can't see it. Man, why is this so, I don't know, fuzzy? Okay, well, I'm not too worried about it. At least for now. There is our stack text. Is there anything else I need to stuff in here? Not that I can think of. I think that might be enough. Because all I need is the details of the text so that I can set it when I create the new object. So I say combat item UI dot stack. Oop. Oh. Item UI script dot stack size text dot text is going to be equal to the item dot stack size. And that should be all I need. Oh, it's going to, of course, complain that that's not a string. I'm trying to stash an integer in a string, whatever. That should do the trick. So I need to get in a fight again, which means we go to the grid, we tell it 100% chance that we'll get in a fight. Holy heck, that's a lot of things. Like a lot of things. Let's cast a fireball over there. And you will cast a fireball there. Oh, I love having that graphic there. Now I just need to get some noises into here so that whenever you cast a fireball or swing a sword, there are particle effects on hit and there are sounds on hit and miss. Like, all these combat noises will make it so much crunchier and maybe a little annoying eventually to run combat. But right now I have ear sound turned off and I have no earbuds in. So it's not like we'd hear it while we were working on the game. It's something you very, very commonly hear programmers talking about, though, is early on in the process how they will disable sounds in a game, because as nice as it is to have the sounds there, it's also incredibly annoying to listen to the same sounds over and over again. Oh god, the poor rogue. What did he ever do to anybody? Okay. Oh, right. There we go. Now the warrior has taken damage. That's what I wanted to see. So if I look at items, sweet, he's got 4 of these. So I'm going to use one. He is going to dodge. The cleric is going to heal him. And the mage is just going to keep casting fireball all day, every day. Because he can. So I'm kind of sad it doesn't say how much it healed. I kind of would appreciate that. Oh god, it's screeching. Screeching attacks everybody. Come on. Item. Hey, there's only 3 left. Great. So this is working as intended. Also, I think I'm getting the snot kicked out of me. And if I don't start killing things soon, I'm pretty sure the entire party is dead. I've had a few fights that have turned really nasty on me, and without certain details kicking in, it not only is nasty, just most of the party dies. Oh, especially when bites like that connect. Cleric, heal yourself. And mage, we are going to guard the cleric. Okay, I think it's almost dead. Just to make sure, we're gonna throw spells and other things at it, and hopefully that'll be the end of it. So yeah, cool. Combat works, and the item stacking in combat also works, which is really freaking awesome. Thank goodness. Because it was going to go next, and I have a couple people with not really low health, but decently low health. Oh god, I forgot, I'm fighting every step. So yeah, I'll have to fix up and work on the trade interface eventually, but for now, let's see, is there anything, I guess trade interface is the last place where a stack of an object will mess with something. Because if you look at the trade interface, it doesn't say how many there are. And if you sell a healing potion that is stacked up to 4, we need to ensure that the stacks change and move. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, obviously... What is going on? Oh, I know what's happening here. My test scene still has the skybox marked as its clear color, when with the dome turned on, I actually shouldn't be clearing to skybox. At least I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is. Let's try that again real quick. I just double checking that everything works here when it comes to the sky system. I set it up somewhat recently and want to make sure that it works as I intend it to. There we go, that's much better. I know it's a little difficult to see details when it's this tiny, but there are stars up there in the night sky. Can I even see the moon? It's somewhere here, I think. Where the heck is the moon? Okay, I am certain it is up there. Question becomes where? Scene view, since I can. Let's see here. Zoom in on the grid system real quick. Okay, there it is. It's on my, I think what'll be my right-hand side in the game. There it is. Hey. Cool. Cool. It is kind of obvious that the moon is a part of that background, but the fog and the subsurface scattering is doing a decent job of hiding that. Cool. Okay. So let's see. What else? What else? I have stack size viewing. I do have... Okay, so we're just going to wander over here. Look at the trade interface real quick. Okay. Nothing is showing up in the trade interface. Is it because he drank all his... No, he hasn't drank all his potions. They definitely are all still there. This is just not working. Somehow. Also, her inventory is empty. I can't help but notice. If I look at my grid, I should see why. Okay, so there's the NPC event, but the NPC itself, I guess that would be part of the prefab of the NPC. And my guess is that with all the changes to inventory I've been making, yeah, this got kind of, not nuked, but it definitely disappeared. Items. You can sell, I don't know, the test key, of which there is one. And you can also sell health potions for their completely exorbitant price. Okay, so her stuff shows up decently, but you will note that this doesn't actually have money amounts attached to it, and the character one is just straight up empty altogether. Where is that interface even? That's the part I'm unsure of. I guess it's the NPC window. That makes enough sense. Did I disable all of that when I changed it? Rebuild trade UI. Okay, so those are fine. So it rebuilds hers just fine. it's the character's inventory I guess I should be worried about. Although this one doesn't seem to be playing terribly nice either. Just gonna attach to Unity really quick. And then walk into this setup and see if that... Whoa! Okay, I guess I'm not gonna be attaching that to Unity because Unity will have just fallen on its face. Okay. That was interesting and different. Can I do it again? Is it gonna crash every time? I'd really appreciate it if it didn't, since I have things to test. Okay, so the player definitely has objects that are getting set up here. So the player's items are getting caught and handled. But for some reason, they're just not ending up on this. Oh! They were there and invisible? Is that what the case was? You. It's like I have to click on it. That's so bizarre. I'll think about that. Alright, thanks guys. Thank you for joining me so much. It's been great having you all along. If you haven't, please hit the follow button. I know my phone's been exploding a little more than usual, and I've been completely ignoring it because I'm pretty sure that it's just Facebook talking to me today. But, oh, okay, I do have another follower. Thank you guys for hitting that follow button. I appreciate it so much. The other thing is that I will make a good attempt at being online this weekend. We'll see. It is a little hectic, what with my birthday being somewhere in this haze of days. So, I can't guarantee I'll be online, but I'll do what I can to be online. And at least stream for an hour or two. I've got some stuff I want to get done, and I think it would be nice to be able to kind of focus and chug away on things for a while. So probably Saturday. Like I said, follow my Twitter. You'll see when I tweet about, you know, coming online and doing all that. Aw, thanks guys. Yeah, it's my birthday. It just makes life busy for a couple days. So, let's see. Any other announcements? Not really. I'm just happy we got past all of this craziness with having the inventory instances not be settable in Unity's environment. I'm just happy we're past that, because that was a monster. For those of you who haven't gotten to episode 51 or 52, I think is what I'm on right now, you're not missing much unless you don't mind watching me look a little frustrated and poking at Unity, wondering why things aren't working. For those who didn't see the solution I implemented, it essentially came down to system.serializable being my friend in the end. So, is that it? I think that's it. Thanks, guys, for coming along, for being here. I will... Yeah, just double checking. It's always fun to look in on the Game Dev channel right before I sign off, not only to see how many viewers... Holy heck, 34 of you! What are you guys doing here? Shouldn't you be working or doing something? Thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.